A coffee, a pastry, intercession in my bag. Due to the cost of living, I'm a playing real bad. Okay, hello everybody. I hope you enjoyed the narrative travel montage I just took you on. I've just arrived at Sprue Cutters. This is the first tournament I have been to I was trying to figure it out. It's at least 6 months, maybe 12, maybe a year. I can't remember if I went to a tournament in like January or February. Maybe I did, but maybe that was last year. Time's a real blur, honestly. So anyway, I decided, what team am I taking? I decided, so I was really, I wanted to take Compendium Tyranids. They're a faction I feel very comfortable with. I think they're also relatively decent. So it was like I could have put on a good showing, given people a good game, and still also been comfortable with the faction and done okay. Not won, but I'm not here to win. That's the other thing. I'm not really here to win games. That is not my goal at all. What I want to do is just get 3 games in. There's only 8 players, so it's just a little 3-round tournament, which I'm super comfortable with. 4 or 5 rounds, that's a bit much, let's be honest. 3 rounds, yeah, I could probably handle that, 2 rounds, lunch, a round. Perfect. Get back before 5 p.m. Thumbs up. So, I was then thinking Kroot, Kassakin, because they're both, not very strong, and it could be fun, and I could be into it. But then I was like, you know what, that's a lot of models. And although, not for this tournament. Okay, so I kind of said, too many models, let's put them to the side. Then I was thinking Phobos and Intercession. I was thinking Phobos would be more fun for me to take because they're less strong, and that would be good. But then I thought, hold on though. There will 100% be other Intercession players. And if I am to play Phobos into Intercession, I actually have no idea what to do. Like, I cannot imagine me winning that game at all. Because I feel like Intercession is just better. So, that was a no there. I also briefly considered Warp Coven, but a little bit too complicated to keep my mind focused on which models have which powers without a lot of thinking and stuttering. Legionary I could have gone with, but I've forgotten. Yeah, I just forgot that they existed, to be honest. And I would have gone super basic, just everybody Nurgle, and just like, everybody one mark of chaos and just don't think about it. In the end, I've gone Intercession. Now, a little bit of a weird thing here. I've never played Intercession. I've played against them, but only like a few times. So this is actually the first time ever that I will have played Intercession. And I'm going to go play 3 rounds with them in a tournament. What is my actual goal, though? How am I going to a tournament openly saying I don't plan to win? Not I don't plan to win, I don't want to win. Further to that. Because I want to just have fun, and I want to figure out what the definition of fun is if you're not there to win. So, how do you do that? You could just enjoy the games, and in fact, for me, and the reason I changed what I just said from I don't plan to win to I don't want to win, is because even for me, for my personality type, if I go there and I'm thinking I would like to win, that would be a cool thing. I will then just be, if the opponent hits me with a gotcha, or, gets a good snipe on me, a good angle, and I'm like, I didn't see that, I will then be frustrated and I will go on tilt at my own incompetence in the game. So I can't want that. So how can I go into a tournament actively not wanting to win the tournament and have fun? What is the enjoyment there? And that's why we are here to experience how to have fun in a competitive tournament, even when you don't want to win. So normally at this point, I would bring in my opponent and have a little chat with them after the game. Unfortunately, I feel so bad about the first game. I didn't even want to. I feel like it would have been real bad for me to ask if he wanted to have a chat. Basically, he was playing High-Tech Circle, and he thought reanimation protocols worked the way everybody that is sane thinks reanimation protocols work. He thought you die, you come back, because that's how he's a 40k player primarily. He just assumed that's how it works. I had to sit down, explain to him, no, that's not how it works. Anyway, I won like 19 to something because I didn't score. I was playing Intercession, Shock and Awe, Faction Tac Op 1. I'd tabled him by the time I was potentially able. He didn't hold any points, so I couldn't score it again. Real bad. Not how despite it being a win for me, not how I wanted the game to go at all. I blame it on the power level of High-Tech Circle. He didn't play poorly. I was having a lot of issues with, like, my guns weren't really, getting that much damage through. He was making lots of saves, but, so I wasn't particularly killy, but, yep. So I put that down to the team he played. I didn't play, like, amazingly. If it was any other team with a bit more killy power, I made some risky moves, etc. Everybody else there has, we've got Corsairs, Commandos, Death Guard, and Kassakin. So we'll see. I suspect I'll be playing into Commandos next. Yeah. Bad feel for the first game. Let's go see what happens next. Oh, right. Minor aside. Not to bring the tone of the how to enjoy tournaments note down, but after I left, I got a text from my parents saying that my grandma died last night, which is, so I don't know, I just wanted to say that's a bit of a shame, but it was good. She was ready. Husband died 5 years ago, and I think that she was ready. And I'd been to see her just 2 days ago, and she got to see her granddaughter, or great-granddaughter, very recently as well, so yeah, good for her. Alright, round 2. I played into Kassakin. I tabled him turn 2. So, that's bad. Luckily, there weren't any rules misunderstandings this time, so I think that was really where the negativity from the first game came, because he thought he could do a thing with reanimation protocols, whereas this guy is just, yep, that's the team. He was rolling really well. However, we were playing on Chownath board essentially, and I was just able to hide my guys from his big dudes. I killed the plasma turn 1. Not because he placed it poorly, just because, within session I'm really fast and I could just get around, and I got a sight line, got a kill. And then I managed to wound his grenade launcher. Yeah. So just, I would say some real beginner errors on his part in very slight misplacements that I was able to see and then react to and get the kill. But like, ugh. So this is the problem with Intercession. Like, he was rolling hot though. Like, every shot, like, he never did less than 6 damage to me, considering and that was with las guns. Anyway, yeah, really, a little bit regretting taking Intercession. I thought there were going to be others with Intercession here because it's the beginner team, but like, oh man, I'm regretting it. I can't lie. So that's my bad. I took them because I thought they were going to be easy for me to play and I wouldn't have to think about the game, which is true, but they're easy and I don't have to think about the game, and I'm
dominating. It's really, honestly, it's not how I like things to go, because I feel like I've given 2 bad games, to be honest with you. However, with that said, I assume next time I'm either going to go into Corsairs or Death Guard. From the looks of it, I think it's going to be Death Guard at the moment, but don't know. Because it will be the 3rd and final round, because there's only 6 players, it turns out. And so then I'll be going into 2 people that have also won, and then that'll be that. Intercession was a bad pick, because I'm not giving good games. And that's what I was here to give good games, really, not to win. So we'll see. Although with that said, I'm not going to like I'm playing good games. Like, I'm not like, oh, I don't care, blah, you know. Like, I'm playing to win, because that is how the game should be played. I'm not being a dick about it, but if I can win, I'm winning. So I'm not a very good player, so it's entirely possible that my next opponent will just wreck me. You know, Corsairs, they have some skills. Death Guard, really tough to punch through the armor, those disgusting resilience, you know, so we shall see. Either way, I feel guilty about playing Intercession, and that, I'm just going to throw it out there, that's a really bad thing. Like, that's a bad team.
Okay, and 3rd game done, which was against Death Guard, and I lost. So, on the one hand, good that I lost. Good, because I didn't want to win. And on the other hand, good that, as I said, and I've made clear, I think, I didn't want to win. Because, man, with Death Guard, when you make those 5-up shrugs from the Feel No Pain, you know, when you're doing 12 damage and the guy takes 3, it's like, it can feel a little bit like you're getting diced, you know? Even when you account for the possibility of them getting those 5-up saves, and you still don't even get statistically what you should, it's like, it's real rough. But dice happen, obviously. And because I was going into it not wanting to win, and again, actively not wanting to win, as opposed to just, I don't care, I was okay with it. It was fine. It was whatever. Ultimately, we played into the dark on this one, whereas the other 2 were open boards. I think, you know, the guy played well, and he just naturally has a very durable team. I think it was, you know, he deserved the win, no doubt. It was a very close game at the end. I'm not quite sure what else I could have done. I feel like going into Death Guard, Intercession don't really have, like, the AP to do what they need to do, which is fine. That's fair enough, you know. It's they deserve to be countered. It's good. Certainly, going into the Kassakin in the High-Tech Circle, man, I was just, you know, I was rolling normally. Like, I wasn't rolling particularly well, especially into the Kassakin. He was making a lot of saves, but I just had the natural damage to get past his saves. But with the 3-up saves, and him almost always having cover, and him almost always getting, you know, really good 5-up shrugs, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing enough damage. So I couldn't take him off the board. And we were playing a bit of an odd mission. It's the one where you action on the 2 points outside of the centres, and then at the end of the game, for every point taken off that you've actioned on, the central objectives will score you 2 VP per objective you actioned on. So, yeah. It came down to the final turn, and he managed to take it. I also, again, because I was trying to play very relaxed, I didn't think too much about my secondaries, and so I played Seek and Destroy into Death Guard, which I basically didn't score, which, you know, yeah, correct. You probably shouldn't play Seek and Destroy into Death Guard unless you have some AP behind you. because I got some kills. Like I took him down to 2 guys with 1 wound remaining on both, so like really close. Before he tabled me. But yeah, it wasn't reliable who could get a kill. So, and that's it. So yeah, glad I lost that. And now I'm going to go back to the studio to have a final think about how I really feel in regards to finding the fun in a tournament when you don't want to win. And is it worth going to a tournament, etc. Final thoughts. Let's go. Hello, everybody. I'm here in the warmth. Why is it warm? Because I'm paying extortionate amounts of money to heat where I live. So anyway, I kind of wanted to give a few final thoughts on the day after I've had a few hours to chill, except not warm up, not chill, relax. And just, you know, try to answer the question that I set out for myself of why go to tournaments when you don't want to win? That's kind of the opposite of what a tournament is. I know that a lot of people go to tournaments just to get games in, for example, but inevitably, I feel like they're trying to get games in to get better at the game, which obviously, okay, is just a natural side effect, but let's say you're good enough at the game. Why be there, you know? And I think one thing that I learned about myself today is that I like a game to be close. Win or lose, I want a close game. All of my games today felt very far apart. Both for Hyrotech Circle and Kassakin, honestly, I stomped. It was a bit much, to be honest. And then against the Death Guard, it was a close game on the board as to like trades, etc. But my gosh, it was not a close game in the scores. I scored literally 1 point, and then I ended up with 3 because, you know, you get 2 for painted. So 1 to 11, it's not a good game. It was a close game on the board though, so better than the other 2 games, which ultimately were quite far apart in both score and how the actual game played out, where it was kind of an easy win, if you will. So whatever I want the game to be close. But I was thinking about my first 2 games, and obviously I won, but it wasn't good. And the reason I think the thing is, if it had been the other way round and I had been stomped, I would have been more okay with that, which is really weird. But I think what I'm saying is that I ultimately would prefer a close game over anything else. I would prefer to win a close game than lose a close game, but if it's an absolute stomp, I would feel better if I lost hugely. So in a weird way, I prefer to lose than to win, because at least then, you know, whether it's a really, really tight game or a game that's, you know, an outrageous domination, at least I can, in my head, say I've given my opponent something, whether it's a good close game or a win, you know, a free ride, a buy practically. That is my preference. So, oddly, I prefer to lose games. Okay, with that said, why go to tournaments when you prefer to lose games? When you're in your mid-30s and you've dedicated the last 4 years of your life pretty heavily, when you look at things, to a game of plastic toy soldiers, you have to just accept that plastic toy soldiers don't mean anything. And ultimately you're there to make friends. And if you dedicate that much of your life to plastic toy soldiers, you've made a mistake. You're supposed to be dedicating it to the people you meet. And I've spent too long dedicating my life to the toy soldiers and the mechanics of a game that don't matter.
I'm supposed to be making friends. And I've forgotten that. And the purpose of a tournament has nothing to do with the models on the board. I don't care if I win or if I lose. I hope that I gave my opponent a good game, and I hope that they enjoy it. But I'm there to make friends, because otherwise life is pointless. This was a really long-winded way of getting to that conclusion. Oh, sweet. Kill Team Ken can do Monday. I'm going to take my Wormblade. Let's do it. Tournaments. They're there to make friends. Little toy soldiers don't mean shit.